Hey, real quick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad are you expecting the RTX 3060 launch to actually be? With 1 being as easy to get as a jug of milk, and 10 being, hey, do you hear a whistling that sounds uncannily like a cartoon nuclear warhead plummeting directly for my comedy parasol? A few days ago, Nvidia officially confirmed what heavy leaking had already told us over the last several weeks. The RTX 3060, the cut down and intended as a more affordable option compared to the non-TI variant of the 3060 we already have, at least theoretically on the market right now, is confirmed for theoretical retail release in just over a week from this very video. Hello again, I am Blunty. Thanks for the click. Hope you dig what I do and how I do it. And if you do, consider this the requisite sad begging for some kind of interaction, thumbs, bell, sub, comment-wise, to help my sad, pathetic doom struggle against the sodding YouTube algorithm that loves to bury my crap and make me sad. So, I don't have a review sample of the 3060 yet. If I did, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I would be under a non-disclosure agreement. But I'm told the review embargo is being lifted right on launch day. In fact, I'm told the review embargo lifts just 3 hours before sales embargo lifts, giving buyers very little time to make up their mind whether they want to struggle to try and buy one or not. Because if you don't struggle to buy one at minute 1 upon release, chances are you won't be getting one for quite some time, because that's just how things go right now, isn't it? The launch of the RTX 3060 will be a complete disaster. That whistling noise I mentioned at the start of the video. Not the hardware. In fact, this level of card, this price bracket, is usually the most popular choice. The 970, the 1060, the 2060, all before it being superb cards punching past their weight class and being very good cards to invest in that will survive many years of AAA gaming very happily without the average PC gamer feeling the upgrade crave twinge. I am in fact expecting the 3060 to be a damn good card. Being a couple of generations into the RTX line now, it should, in theory, be very, very good. But just like every other graphics card launch has been recently, and just like the new gen console launches have been, it will be a logistical and practical nightmare for the consumer to actually buy one in the first place. So in theory, very good card. In practical terms, probably doesn't matter how good it is. Between the absolute sleaze of bot automated scalpers, the current resurgence in cryptocurrency mining, with already existing RTX 3000 series cards all but impossible to get, miners in China have been bulk buying RTX 3000 series equipped laptops to churn into their mining farms. Cryptocurrency mining farms with laptops. That's how desperate they are for this hardware. This high demand under stress from scumbags and mining whores and capacity-limited manufacturing already, and all the related issues about the current global situation tied into workforces and shipping issues. Yeah, you can just expect a big pile of misery around what should, in theory, be an extremely popular graphics card. Nvidia don't really care that much if regular gamers can't get one, because either way they get their money. Which is why you're not seeing companies like Nvidia do a single damn thing about any of this. About the miners, about the scalpers, about the price gouging in retailers. They're doing nothing about it because they don't care. They get the money. That's their purpose. They're a company. They want money. They don't care who gives them the money. Now, Nvidia expects the GeForce RTX 3060 to retail at $329 US. Except, even before the absolute scumbaggery of bot scalpers and crypto miner shitheels get to them, some retailers are already sickeningly jacking up the prices, gouging customers no matter who they are, and even breaking Nvidia's own terms of sale and embargoes. News broke out of Pakistan last week that cards are already being sold, breaking embargo, at prices up to the equivalent of $750 US, more than twice Nvidia's recommended retail price. I wouldn't expect that level of horrific example to be widespread in the, well, less Pakistani places in the world, the more market-regulated and consumer-protective places in the world, but I do absolutely expect more retailers everywhere to charge whatever they think they can get away with, without attracting more bad press or governmental oversight than it's worth in the near future. But, considering how dumb most people are about this stuff, and how short internet attention spans can be, what companies can get away with, and have it forgotten 6 months later, well, They know they can get away with quite a lot of, let's just say, consumer rectal adventuring with very little meaningful backlash that will actually affect the only thing that matters, their profits. So I'd be pretty surprised if many normal people, many regular gamers, are able to actually get an RTX 3060 for even close to the MSRP for at least the first 6 months, if they can even get one at all. The MSRP for the 3060 Ti, for example. In Australia, it was supposed to be 688 Aussie dollars. The cheapest listing for a card, even now, months after launch, is more than $100 over that. That's right, the cheapest option is $100 more than it should be listing at. And it, and every version above it, is completely sold out anyway, and has been for quite some time. And from what I've heard from retailers, stock is dribbling in embarrassingly tiny numbers that barely seem worth it to begin with, which for some of the more reputable retailers is more of a pain in the ass than anything, because all they're faced with is tons of consumer complaints, rather than being able to do what they want to do and make money. So with all that said, what do you think will happen to a more affordable but still capable gaming and mining card once it theoretically hits shelves? If your answer is anything but some version of, well, it's going to be even worse, then you're an idiot. The RTX 3060 cards will offer 3,584 CUDA cores, 1,208 less than the 3060 Ti, or in simpler, easy to understand terms, that's 26% less. But that rides alongside 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, fully 4 gigabytes more than the heavily criticized paltry 8 given to the Ti version, and most of the other RTX 3000 series cards for that matter, an amount embarrassed into existence by AMD's much more generous amounts on their equivalent cards. It's even 2 gigabytes more than the RTX 3080, which has just 10 gigabytes. The base clock is lower on the 3060 versus the Ti, but the boost clock is higher. The memory clock speed on the 3060 is also faster than the 3060 Ti, 15 gigabits per second versus 14, although it has much narrower memory bus, 192-bit versus 256. All of that means the bandwidth for memory, the thing that actually matters in the end, is 360 gigabits per second versus 448 gigabits per second the Ti has. It has 26% fewer ray tracing and tensor cores. And with the on-paper difference of $329 versus $399 for the Ti, it will be interesting to see the real-world comparisons. And when I say real-world, I mean real-world. Real gaming, not the canned benchmarks and tedious montage of bar graphs most so-called reviewers vomit up these days, which are fantastic for baiting the fanboys and for Reddit arguments, because numbers are easier to point to, but pretty pointless for real gamers playing real games and spending real money. Those of you who are regulars around here know I like to take a much more practical approach, which many of you do appreciate. And I'm pretty low on the priority list for review samples these days, so I wish I could promise something useful in the very near future, but yeah, given all the other circumstances around supply versus demand, I have doubts I can be much use very immediately, sadly. The 360 is being set up to go toe-to-toe with the as-yet real-world existence of AMD's upcoming Radeon RX 6700 XT. Current rumblings have that set to hit shelves in March. We'll have to wait and see if that is actually a thing that happens, or just another paper launch. I do hope it actually happens in a real-world way, because either way, given how impressed I was with the other 6000 series variants so far, with the exception of their ray tracing performance, but give AMD a break, it is their first go at it, it will be interesting to see that match up as well. And frankly, with only 28 ray tracing cores, I doubt the RTX 3060 will be anyone's prime choice if what they're after is high-level ray tracing slickness anyway. So it's probably going to be pretty fair to compare the RTX 3060 and the RX 6700 XT, while for all intents and purposes practically ignoring ray tracing. Unless, of course, AMD are finally ready to take the wraps off their DLSS competitor, which will possibly make all the difference in the world, because DLSS and ray tracing working together make huge differences on the RTX cards. Anyway, cross your fingers for me. Hopefully I can get an RTX 3060 in the not too distant future to test, because I do think it will be a fantastic mainstream focused card for the enthusiast PC gamer that won't hopefully cost an arm and a leg for the entirety of his existence. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. Thank you as always to the patrons whose above and beyond support really do make a wonderful, meaningful thing to me. I lost the word I was hunting for there, but you know I appreciate you. I am Blunty. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.